Okay, let's dive into this book. Imagine being drawn to someone with this electric charm, a connection that feels instant, undeniable, only to find their bright light cast some really dark shadows.
And those shadows, they start to look disturbingly familiar.
Exactly, like echoes from your own family history, things you swore you'd never, ever repeat.
Right. That tension, that clash between this powerful pull and really troubling behavior. That's what we're getting into today.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're exploring It Ends With Us. Our mission really is to unpack the complex relationships, the tough choices, and those surprising moments of strength in the story.
We want to help you see how these patterns repeat, but also crucially, how they can be seen and broken.
It's a journey into understanding that.
And, dealing with themes, this heavy love, abuse, family cycles, it really does call for moments of pause, for reflection.
Yeah.
So for those times when you want to process this kind of difficult material, we wanted to mention Mindful Moments. It's our YouTube channel. It uses AI analysis of books like this one, actually, designed to help spark that deeper thought, that critical thinking.
It's a great tool just there to help you engage thoughtfully with tough subjects.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into the start of the story. It opens on a Boston rooftop, late at night. Lily's up there.
Right, she needs air. Trying to escape a frustrating roommate situation, and she's just processed her father's funeral, her very complicated father.
Yeah, very. And who's there?
Ryle Kincaid, a neurosurgeon, super driven, but he's right on the edge of his own meltdown.
Yeah.
Kicking a chair, actually, violently.
It's such a raw, unexpected way to meet someone, but it sparks everything.
Totally. He's intense. Offers her a joint. She says no. They start talking about, dead fathers.
Yeah, and how a photographer dying without his last shot is like a real waste. It's quirky, kind of dark, but magnetic.
Mm-hmm. And Lily, feeling all that unresolved stuff about her own dad, shares her anti-eulogy.
The fact that she just stood there silently at his funeral, couldn't think of one good thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Ryle just lays out his naked truths almost immediately.
Right away, marriage repulses him. Kids, nope. Success is everything.
Yeah, even suggests, maybe just a one-night stand.
But despite all that, despite him saying no relationships, there's this connection.
Oh, absolutely. Instant. Intense. He's fascinated by her, even takes her picture, tells us she's not most people.
It's complex from minute one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we learn about Lily, too, moved from Maine, wants to open her flower shop. Lily blooms blossom.
And that key piece about her father, loving him as a daughter, but hating him as a human for what he did.
Yeah, that sets up so much.
And what's really interesting is how the narrative then shifts, right? It takes us back.
To her teenage journals, the ones she wrote to Ellen DeGeneres.
Exactly. And these reveal this whole other part of her life, her first love, Atlas Corrigan.
Oh, Atlas. These entries are, heartbreaking, but also really revealing about who Lily is, even back then.
We learn his story through her eyes. Meeting him on the bus, finding him sleeping rough in an empty house.
Right. Homeless. Kicked out when he turned 18, no address, no phone, trying shelters, planning on the Marines. Just struggling.
But even with her own difficult home situation, her dad's abuse of her mom, look at how Lily acts towards Atlas.
Yeah, she helps him, sneaks him food, clothes, lets him shower.
It's this powerful, positive force in action, isn't it? We talk about positive theories sometimes, how connection, kindness, resilience can push back against awful circumstances. Her hibbing him is exactly that.
It really is. Proactive kindness when things are bleak.
And those specific moments, they really stick with you.
Oh, yeah. Atlas fixing cookies, teaching her about the gas oven. She says, it made me want to know everything he knew.
Him carving that little uneven wooden heart for her.
And that first kiss after she asks him about Boston. So brave.
But all this happens against that dark backdrop of her father's abuse getting worse.
Mm-hmm. And Atlas warns her, right, don't get involved. He knows violence.
Then comes that horrific scene Lily sees. Her father attacking her mother.
She grabs a knife. Instinct.
But Atlas stops her, carries her back to her room, his calm presence versus her dad's rage. It's such a stark contrast.
And then...
Yeah.
Then he tells her his naked truth.
Yeah. This is... Wow, the first night he went to that empty house, he wasn't just looking for shelter.
No, he was there to end his life. He had a razor blade.
But seeing her light on, seeing her moving in her room across the way, it gave him, he says, a little bit of feeling. Just enough.
Just enough to put it down. He tells her, you saved my life, Lily, and you weren't even trying.
It's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
That's that positive theory of human connection again, isn't it? the impact we can have without even knowing, just by being there.
Yeah. Just existing. It can interrupt total despair.
So he eventually goes to Boston, stays with his uncle, joins the Marines like he planned.
Promises to come back for her, where everything is better. Leaves her that Boston magnet.
And the journal entries end. Lily thinks, okay, that chapter's closed. Closure.
Yeah, she thinks. So back to the present. Lily's focused, building her life.
Using her inheritance, getting help from this new friend, Alyssa.
Starting the flower shop. Lily blooms. It's such a positive step, you know? Independence, passion.
Even breaks her ankle wrestling vegetable crates for the shop.
Which leads to, well, fate, maybe. Alyssa calls her brother to help.
And guess who it is?
Rael.
Of course.
Their reunion at the shop is awkward.
Totally. Pretending they haven't met. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Then the penny drops. Alyssa is his sister.
And we meet Alyssa's husband, Marshall, in a SpongeBob onesie.
Huh. Because of the free beer thing, it adds a bit of lightness to Lily connecting with this new circle.
So Lily and Ryle start dating. Properly this time, despite his crazy neurosurgeon schedule.
She admits she has a weakness for him in scrubs. He leans on her too, right? After a long shift, she massages his hands.
And he tells her she's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
They meet her mom, that funny mix-up with the waiter.
Yeah, but her mom sees how attentive he seems. And then the apartment, the huge gesture, welcome home, Lily. That really sweeps her off her feet.
It feels like they're building something solid, supporting each other's careers.
Lily's shop gets recognized. Best new businesses in Boston. Ryle gets into that Cambridge training.
They joke about being so successful it's sickening. On the surface, it looks good. Really good.
Yeah. As things get deeper, those shadows start to appear. The cycle we worried about.
It starts. The first incident. An argument. Lily's on speakerphone with her mom.
She laughs at something Ryle says about wearing scrubs during sex, I think.
And he just reacts violently. Hits her, shouting about his hand. This hand is my fucking career.
She falls, hits her head on a cabinet. Her mom hears everything.
And this is it. The central gut-wrenching theme of the cycle of abuse starting, often over something small, unexpectedly.
Ryle's reaction afterwards, though, immediate regret, desperate apologies, distress.
Which makes it so complex for Lily, right? This isn't like her father's coldness after.
Exactly. She's torn, tries to justify it an accident. Maybe he thought she was cheating. She feels more pain for his past trauma than for herself.
That's the insidious part of the cycle, the rationalization,
Right.
the empathy for the abuser.
She immediately compares it to her parents. Am I weak like mom? Is Ryle like dad? That terrifying thought, history repeating.
Yeah, the book shows how that remorse and the victim trying to make sense of it can just pull you right back into that dangerous pattern.
And just when things are incredibly fraught, Atlas reappears.
Bam! Out of nowhere. Lily's having dinner with Ryle, looks across the restaurant.
Geez, Atlas, he looks like he'd seen a ghost.
And it explodes from there.
Yeah.
Ryle sees them together. It escalates fast.
To a physical fight in the bathroom, Atlas stepping in.
Yeah. Then Ryle grabs her keys, enraged, drives them away in total silence. Lily's just stunned.
So she meets Atlas later at her office, tries to figure things out.
He gives her a book, but then she overhears him mention a girlfriend, Cassie, which is confusing.
Totally confusing. What's his deal now?
But then, poke a night at Atlas's place. She meets his friends, Brad, Darren, Jimmy.
They seem great, like a real chosen family for him. Supportive, funny.
And that's where it comes out. There is no Cassie. He lied.
Why?
Well, you wonder, right? Maybe trying to protect her from his own baggage, seeing her situation with Ryle? Or maybe protecting himself.
It definitely shows he still cares, though. The connection's still there under the surface.
Absolutely. Which leads us to, well, the next massive turning point.
Billy finds out she's pregnant.
Oh, the weight of that. Pregnant with Ryle's child, right after the violence. It's overwhelming.
And this prompts that incredibly powerful conversation with her mother.
Finally telling her everything. The fight, seeing Atlas again, the pregnancy.
And her mom doesn't judge. She cries with Lily. Shares her own stories about Lily's dad, things Lily never knew.
Her advice is brutal but necessary. Escaping the cycle means breaking her own heart. Forgiveness isn't enough. You have to love the pattern itself.
It's this huge moment of breaking the silence that kept the cycle going. So painful, but essential.
Ryle finds out about the pregnancy, pleads with her. You have a part of me inside of you, begging her not to take the baby away.
He decides to take that job in Minnesota, give her space.
Which is maybe the right move then. But Lily initially hides the truth from Alyssa. She recognizes it herself, sweeping shit under the rug just like my mother.
But as she prepares for the baby, she makes these positive choices, moving into a new place, setting up the nursery.
That nature theme, painting the mural, finding healthy outlets, creating a safe space.
And Atlas helps her build the crib.
Another example of that positive theory, right? Atlas is steady, reliable, supportive, the total opposite of Ryle's volatility.
They have that difficult talk, Ryle and Lily in the nursery, trying to figure out how to be parents.
Agreeing to focus on the baby. But you feel Lily's conflict. Part of her wants the Ryle she fell in love with.
But the other part knows she can't trust him. The pattern is there. She's seen it.
Which brings us to the birth. Emerson.
Water breaks while she's on the phone with Lucy from the shop. It's a fast delivery.
Ryle's there excited. Lily squeezes his hand during labor. Thinking about that hand, the one that's his career, the one that hurt her, the irony.
But holding Emerson, that changes everything.
Pure, overwhelming love and clarity.
Absolute clarity.
Yeah.
She knows right then what she has to do.
She tells Ryle she wants a divorce.
It's devastating. He's crying. Can't believe it.
But Lily asks him that question, the one that breaks the cycle.
Yeah. What if she came to you and said, Daddy, my husband pushed me down the stairs?
Making him see it through their daughter's eyes. It forces him to confront the pattern, not just his feelings.
It's the ultimate act of breaking free. Choosing her daughter's safety, her own strength over that familiar, damaged love. It is a positive theory in action. You can make that incredibly hard choice.
Even if it breaks your own heart, like her mother said.
So the book ends years later. We see how it worked out. Lily and Emerson. Ryle comes for visits. Co-parenting.
A new dynamic focused on Emerson.
And then a chance encounter. She sees Atlas on the street.
Years later, he says, "You look great."
She's rushing. Ryle's waiting to pick up Emerson. Tells Atlas she's late. You see the sadness in his eyes.
But after Ryle and Emerson leave, Lily stops.
Has that sudden realization. Turns around.
And sprints after Atlas.
The ending. Hopeful, right? Possibility, but open-ended.
Yeah, suggesting a future free from the old cycle, but you don't know exactly what happens next.
So thinking about this whole story, what are the big takeaways?
Well, that stark contrast, right? Between the shiny surface of a relationship and the hidden struggles.
The deep impact of childhood stuff, how it echoes.
And just how hard, but how absolutely essential it is to recognize and break those harmful cycles.
You saw resilience, self-worth being built slowly, making that conscious choice for a healthier future, even when it's the hardest thing.
And stories like this, they're fiction, but they shine a light on real-world complexities. Love, family, the choices we make.
Makes you think about the naked truths in your own life, maybe. The patterns you see around you or in yourself.
Absolutely. And digging into these tough themes, thinking critically, that's part of understanding more deeply.
Which is where resources like Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel can be helpful for that critical thinking, that reflection.
And you can always explore our other deep dives too for conversations like this.
So maybe the question to leave you with is, what does it really mean to break a cycle?
Yeah. And how much of our past do we sometimes have to let go of to secure a truly different future? That's something to chew on.
If this conversation resonated with you, please hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive.
And share it with someone else who loves books and thinking deeply about them.
If you haven't read It Ends With Us yet, there's a link in the show notes where you can find it.
And most importantly, keep thinking critically about the stories you engage with and the world around you.